Sharkhat with Kidnap Any Percent. Take it away.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started here because there's a bit of a load screen and an intro cutscene. So time is gonna start when I click this yes button. So we will start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Let me tell you a story. It is one of myth
Let this
and legend.
narration play out.
There are many stories of people who vanish in the dead of night, never to be heard of again. This is such a story, but perhaps the most important. For this is said to be the truth of them all. And to find the truth, one needs to listen. Here is the story.
All right, so this is Kidnapped. It's a pretty short indie horror game, very broken. The main route through the game is going to be, there's 5 levels, and we're going to be jumping straight to the end of them as fast as possible. It's going to be a short and sweet run. This narrator pops in every once in a while. The narrations are very funny. Should be loading here in just a second.
Sebastian awoke
All right, here we go.
to the patter sound of rain on a roof above. His head banged as if a drum resided inside. Finding the strength to raise his feet, he noticed the scattering of blood around the room. He found it hard to breathe as a rancid smell rushed his nostrils. He knew not.
So I'm immediately going to take this bottle and use it to fly up in the air, hopefully, if I can get the right angle. Okay, it threw me down. That's fine, we'll try it again. Sometimes the bottle will send you downwards instead of upwards. It's a little random,
Finding the strength to raise his
but
feet,
that
he
shouldn't
noticed
be a huge deal.
of blood around the room.
This is definitely the most reset-heavy part of the entire run if you're doing actual PB attempts, just because this thing can be a little weird.
Of where he was.
Okay, there we go. That was fine.
He needed to escape.
So you're supposed. Ooh, okay, that was close. You're supposed to find a bunch of items to unlock a door, but we can just fly over and hit this little dude over here who will take us to the next
Some
level.
say that this section of the story is one of fabrication, a horror tale created to scare children on grim, dark nights around a campfire. A story so extraordinary that it could never possibly be real. Sometimes, however, the truth can often be the extraordinary.
All right, this is another pretty tricky chapter coming up here. We're going to be doing some crouch clips into some rocks to get out of bounds and doing a little bit of a tight jump. I'm probably going to take a safety save before the jump just in case.
Sebastian stood once more and made his way into the depths of the caves.
So first things first, we're going to get up on these rocks. There we go. We pop out of bounds. Take our safety save. Alright, and that's why we saved. Alright. And there we go, we got it. Alright, and one other trick coming up right here is going to be using something called a super bounce. We're not really sure why this works, but if you walk into certain slopes or other pieces of collision, the game will just launch you up into the air really fast. Okay, we got a little tiny one there. Another little tiny one. There we go. Okay. So we fly up into the air and we can get over some rocks. And then from here, we're just going to be walking through the rest of this cave and hoping we get some enemies to damage boost us a little bit. But in the meantime, we're just going to be walking for a little bit. So if you got anything to read, this would be a good time.
I do. So, don't have any donations right now, but I do want to remind folks, if you want to donate, you can type !donate in the chat, get the link to our Tiltify campaign, and help support Organization for Autism Research.
Thank you. All right, so like I said, we want some enemies to spawn here because while they follow us behind, they can damage boost us forward and save a little bit of time. We're not really getting any damage boosts, but it could be worse. Sometimes if you get too many enemies to spawn, they'll actually kill you, and obviously that results in a pretty big time loss. But we're getting sort of a middle of the road pattern here. Not gonna die, but not really getting any damage either. Might get a couple here. Yeah, only got one. That's fine. Oh no, we got 2. Okay, there we go. All right, so that takes us out of the cave, and we're gonna be heading into the woods now.
one would be forgiving.
So Crazy Radish, you guys have never really seen this run as much before, right? So what do you think of it so far?
I think this is an
Kinda.
amazing run.
It's
It's
I'm
kind
not
of
gonna lie.
weird, man. It's
What do you
kinda
mean weird? This is perfect.
Mustering the little
Ah.
Like, this is a great run.
Like,
It's a pretty silly game, but it's pretty fun.
Standing at the
No,
got a
this
lot
is
of
not.
downtime, man.
Sebastian drew a deep
Nope.
breath of fresh air.
This is all skill.
Magnificent moon
There's
shone
no
brightly
downtime required.
Echoes
It is actually really easy to lose time in this level. This level does have a little bit of walking in it, but you'd be surprised how much time you can lose just by not taking the right line here. But so this level, you're normally supposed to go through and get a bunch of animals for a sacrifice or something like that. I've never actually beaten this level glitchless, so I don't know. But it's very tedious. The enemies spawn in random spots. It's just really slow. But instead of doing that, we can actually walk up to this cliff and then climb it and clip through a wall, and that'll get us straight to the end. So I'm just walking through the woods here, and once we get out of this clearing, we're gonna walk past where the, I guess, ritual would take place if you were doing it normally. It's gonna be right up here. Oh, by the way, we have a gun. We skipped it in that other level with the super bounce, but here it is. You can reload the gun while you're shooting, by the way. You can also reload without any ammo at all, I'm pretty sure. It's a good time. All right, here's that cliff. I'm gonna be climbing that here. Climbing some invisible walls. All right, there we go.
Sebastian was finally free from the forest.
All right.
Surrounding trees that were masked with darkness.
This next skip is pretty silly. There's been, I think, 2 or 3 different ways found to skip this level. So what we're going to be doing here is just crouching under an invisible wall behind us right at the start.
Calm rushed over Sebastian, for in front of him stood a majestic giant,
And then just walking out of bounds.
the safety that he desired. With a rush of adrenaline sweeping through his body.
And normally there's a big, I guess, rectangular prism, I don't know what you call it. There's a big room here. And you're supposed to, I think you're supposed to put your gun down and a bunch of other stuff after finding a key to open a gate. I don't really remember. But turns out we can just crouch clip straight through this part of the wall. And we're in there.
As Sebastian entered the room, the power to his flashlight died.
And that's going to take us right into the last level here.
Slammed shut. Our story is almost at its close. But from one last
All right. If you have anything else to read, this is another pretty good time. We're pretty much almost at the end of the run here.
was born. A legend of myth and horror.
Well, just
And one that
again,
spawned many
get your
tales
money
of
in for the
dreams,
Organization for Autism Research. They are a science-led and parent-led organization to help, research autism and help children, teens, and adults on the autism spectrum disorder. And their mission is to apply research to the challenges of autism. So all of your money is going towards an absolutely amazing cause. Get those donations in, and let's go get this run finished up. I have a soft spot for very short runs always.
Yes, well, we are almost to the end of this run here. This clip is a little bit annoying sometimes. There we go. All right, so I was doing my best to walk in a straight line in the darkness there. The game gives you control before your flashlight actually turns back on, so you can walk through those first 2 rooms in the dark there. And then we do another crouch clip up into the ceiling. And the pretty funny story behind this skip. So normally you're supposed to go through a bunch of these rooms and just kind of walk down some hallways and do some puzzles and stuff like that. But it was known you could clip out on top of the level for a really long time. You just couldn't get back in, which is required to progress. And it turns out if you crouch, your feet actually clip into the ground. And then if you do a save and quit and reload, you just clip through the floor. So I crouch here, get my character in there, continue. And now I just load in at that spot below the floor. And now we clip back in. And time is coming up here just in a second as soon as the screen fades to black after this gunshot. I pick up the gun not too early so the game doesn't soft lock. And then time.
And then
And that's kidnapped.
GG.
GG. That was a 9 for the other Noah end.
Very nice.
Shark H3 legend.
I'm not sure what that would be normally. Usually we time it from when you gain control, but I figured we'd just watch the intro cutscene for marathon's sake. But that was a pretty good run. That wasn't bad. Besides the bottle thing in chapter 1, but yeah, that happens. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the runs, and hope you continue to enjoy the rest of the marathon. That's about all I got.
Waiting for light of day to fade.
Crazy and Reddish, do you have any last words?
I love Sharkhat 87.
Thank you.
Appreciate Sharkhat for all he's done. You know, the Dead Space 2 running now. This
I
run is
love
pretty
him.
cool. So.
Well, there you go.
Alright, folks. We will be right back. After a short intermission, we will have Dark Edge by DVK. So do not go anywhere. Remember, we're still all raising money for an absolutely awesome cause. So go get your donations in, and we will be right back. Thank you so much for the run, Sharkhat.
Of course.
Sometimes you'll get